Hey, it's John Marshall at Suncoast MPI. We're actually doing some improv. We're doing some improv here right now. We got some mics going on. It's great. We have Chris Ritacca coming at us live. Chris Ritacca is with Wealth Advisors Who Care, and we're talking about Suncoast MPI. So like what we said earlier, we're a seat-specific world-class referral networking organization with a community look and feel. And so as the owner, I am so much more interested in the member than the membership check. It's seat specific, so we're looking for people that are rock stars at what they do. Mr. Ritacca is definitely that. We look for people that have a servant's heart, and I know he's that. And maybe we can talk about something we did last week together at an event, and then that it's committed to the commitment to make these chapters thrive. So Chris, I'm delighted that you're absolutely here today. I've gotten to know you and your wife and your boy, your 14-year-old son, and you're an awesome man, and I'm delighted to have you as a member. But everybody out here doesn't know you. So I tell you what, we're on Suncoast NPI TV. This is your time.
Great.
So why don't we just tell the audience, who's this guy, Chris Ritacca?
Absolutely. Thank you, John, for having me today. You know, I'm super excited to be here. Give you a little bit about my background. I was raised 20 minutes outside of Chicago, so grew up, born and raised there, went to a lot of Cubs games. And when I went off to school, I went out west a little bit, not as far as you, but out to Boulder, and spent some time out there, met a lot of great friends, and graduated and went on to start my career out there. Went back to Chicago for a little bit, and then came back to Florida through a firm I used to work with in 2010 to be a little bit closer to my parents. Yeah, it's great. As you mentioned, I have a 14-year-old. I also have a 9-month-old, so I stay pretty busy,
yes,
and
you do.
as well as my lovely wife Annie. So you know, I'm very blessed, very blessed indeed.
Amen to that. It was a delight to meet Andy actually last week.
Absolutely.
So that was really cool. And you just mentioned Chicago. I love Chicago and Boulder. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I could go to Red Rocks right now. And go see Dave Matthews.
Right? Doesn't matter. It sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good wherever you are.
That's right. Yeah.
So two great places. So thanks for that. So let's walk down the street and walk into your company.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure. Well, prior to founding,
I'm sorry. That's my fault. I tell you what, before we even get there, how about we go to how you got to where you are today?
Sure. Yeah, I love improv, so this is good. Prior to founding Wealth Advisors Who Care, with my business colleague and friend and godfather to my son Tony Adamo, I started my career, as I mentioned, in financial services, working at a firm. At the time it was called Janus. Today it's called Janus Henderson. Those were kind of during the go-go years, the tech bubble. So I did that for a period of time, and really started my passion for investments and helping people. So just getting the feel of how you can change somebody's life just by making a decision, and really changing the course of events for not only their life but generations to come. So I worked for a firm not everyone's familiar with. It's called TIAA. That's Fortune 100 financial services organization for 10 years. I started actually at the bottom there, entering applications in the computer. So just a 9-to-5 grind, and I was able to work my way up over a course of 10 years to become a financial advisor with them. So it was really a great experience. I learned a lot, and was able to to get my licenses, Series 7, 63, 65, life, health, variable annuity, and then I recently got my accredited investment fiduciary AIF designation. So I'm able to be held to a higher standard than, say, your average broker.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, that's incredible. So you definitely walked the walk. You didn't come in with a silver spoon.
No.
You worked it and earned your way there. So
very proud of that.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thanks for teeing that up. So let's Wealth Advisors Who Care. Let's spend some time there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as I mentioned, my partner Tony and I, we are actually having our 1-year anniversary March. So this month, and it's our birthday. We're very excited to celebrate that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I have the honor of knowing Tony as well. You guys are a rock star team.
Yeah, he's an excellent individual. So as part of our mission, though, we really focus on strengthening and securing the 4 pillars of financial wellness, and that's asset risk management, income planning, incapacity planning, and legacy planning, right? So those are the 4 keys that we kind of address in every one of our meetings. So we have over 40 years of experience, Tony and myself together, and so we bring the breadth of everything we've experienced in the financial service industry to bear to help our clients. So, really what's at the core of it is working with our clients and understanding what their dreams are, what their aspirations, and tailoring their plan to exactly what they want to do. It's kind of analogous to fast food financial planning versus fine dining.
Gotcha.
Wealth advisors who care would be the fine dining as opposed to fast food financial planning, right? It's not cookie cutter.
Yep.
It's tailored to each individual client, and each plan is different.
Yeah. Do you want to dive into that a little bit further? Like really, truly, what differentiates you?
Sure. From the time we sit down with our clients, we don't have time constraints, right? So we'll take as long as it takes to get to understand what their challenges are, what their dreams are, what their hopes are. I've had people tell me that their aspirations, everything from bouncing their last check to leaving a foundation or an endowment. So,
wow.
We work everywhere in between there, really just to help, achieve that. And if it's not attainable, we can work towards some sort of middle ground, right? So not everything is always accessible to the client in terms of their dreams, but we'll get you as close as we can. And it's not a one-time process. So really, what we do every year, we're meeting with the clients, making sure that we course correct if we need to, and just making sure they're in a good space. So. It's really about the relationship, right?
Gotcha.
So spending time with the clients, making sure they know they're not just a number, and we really do care. That's why we named the company what we did.
Yeah, it's perfect. Wealth Advisors Who Care, if you guys don't remember. And again, Chris and Tony are the owners of Wealth Advisors Who Care. And again, I'm delighted you're here. So what about something, I'm actually curious. What are you most proud of, Chris?
Yeah, I know we have a time limit here, but I would say in general, I'm most proud of, just where I am in life, the ability that I was able to overcome some challenges and really, end up where I am. Very blessed, as I mentioned, with my family, to have my 2 children, my wife, and be close to my parents. So just being able to overcome a lot of adversity in my life and really just keep going. I think, that's an attribute that I hope I can pass on to my children. And, if we had an hour or two, I would go into, more detail.
We can bump all these guys. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
It's
all right.
fun.
We can spend all time here. That's great. No, but I think priority-wise, I'm really focused on just raising the best children I can, making them members of society that contribute, give back. When you say have a servant's heart, that's key to a lot of things that we do, and just good people, right? The world needs more of that today.
Amen to that, Mr. Ritacca. Yeah, I appreciate it. We have a lot of similarities, sir.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of your goals? What are some of your current goals that you have in front of you?
Yeah, so I would say that when I sit down with a client, my biggest goal is, number one, to listen and educate, right? So when you think about my industry, financial planning, there's a lot of misinformation out there. You'll hear a tidbit, whether it's on, a business news network or read it in the paper, and it really is not meant for everyone. And so, you can take a piece of information that may be partially true and apply it to your individual situation, and it can be 100% wrong. So, explaining, educating, that's really at the heart of what we do. That's why when I say, sitting down with your clients, making sure that you spend as much time as necessary so that they feel comfortable is paramount to everything we do. I would just say that, helping them make the best decision at the end of the day, that's why I get up and do what I do. So when I know that I can change somebody's life for the better, and they can walk out of there having, a good sense of, I'm in a good spot right now, and I'm comfortable with where I am in my retirement, that makes me feel good, and that's really why I do what I do.
Gotcha. That's well said. I appreciate you sharing that. How about just diving in, maybe something to your memory banks on maybe a favorite famous quote or inspirational quote, or something that pops out to you?
Yeah. So there's a lot. When I was kind of thinking about this, but I think the one that's most appropriate, was Ben Franklin, and he's credited with saying, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? So you've heard a couple different iterations, but at the core of it is really, you have to think about the future and plan accordingly. So that's something that's at the heart of everything we do.
Wow, very cool. I love that.
Thank you.
Mr. Franklin.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with him. Hey, do you mind if we switch it over? I mean, this is your time, but would you mind sharing a little bit? I mean, this is Suncoast NPI
Oh,
TV,
yeah.
and would you mind sharing some of your experiences? What's been your take on NPI? I didn't pay you for this,
No,
right?
no, this
okay.
is this
Are
is
you
great.
okay with this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool,
So,
awesome.
You know, I got the opportunity to visit one of the chapters with Tony,
Yep.
and you know, just to see the caliber of people that were there. You know, when we talk about an extension of your team, I mean, people get a sense of who you are, and they feel comfortable working with you.
Right.
So it's really, in my opinion, the best way to have a business relationship, right? So when you think about if you need a plumber or a handyman, you know, a lot of times people will pick up the phone book or go to the internet,
Sure.
and you know, I think there's a better way to do that. It's really about relationship building.
Right.
You know, that's at the core of my business, and that's really what, you know, Suncoast NPI is about. It's about getting to know everyone in your chapter, understanding that they're quality individuals, and working with them on that basis. So, you know, after I got to sit through that meeting, I had the opportunity to join the Trinity chapter, and
Right.
you know, again, it was proven to be true. Everyone I've met up there, just tremendous individuals, you know, and again, you know, very blessed to be part of that, and you know, and have lunch with you every
Yeah.
week. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
but yeah, it's been a great experience, and even to the extent of getting involved with the FCA.
Yeah.
The other day, you know, getting to know and learn a little bit about that organization has been tremendous, and getting involved with that as well. So,
Right. Yeah, because that FCA probably wouldn't have come up if
No.
we you know, so all things. I'm waiting for a book, God Winks.
Yeah,
And
it's a
it's
great
like,
book.
you know, is it really a coincidence?
Right.
And we have like 30 seconds. Is there anything that's just on your heart you kind of want to wrap up with and close out our time together?
You know, I would just say, you know, I'll kind of follow up on your last point. You know, I don't really believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason. So,
Sure.
you know, whether it's sitting here today or, you know, having dinner with FCA with you,
Right.
or even starting my own firm with Tony. I mean, things happen for a reason, and I'm really excited to see, you know, how many people we can help and what change we can facilitate. So
That's awesome. Suncoast NPI when we pull together.
we all win.